Hello students, in today's class we will be learning about e-commerce, e-shopping, modes of payment online, podcasting, blogging, etc. Okay, so we are beginning with the chapter 10 of your textbook. Okay, now today I'm not going to keep my video on because it blocks the PPT, so I'll keep the video off. Um, yeah. Just a moment, I'll just begin. Okay, so the chapter is e-commerce, blogging, and podcasting. Okay, now basically, what is e-commerce? Now let us take a good look at this picture. Now most of you are doing shopping online. Okay, so basically, you when you are doing shopping online, you are using several aspects of e-commerce. Okay, like you will be shopping for the finding a product, you will be purchasing it. Okay, and you buy it, you order it, you pay it through your payment uh, whichever payment card you are using. Okay, and you have 24 by 7 support. You can track your order, where is it reached. Okay, and so on. So you have many aspects like these, and this is all together, it is known as e-commerce. Now let us look at the definitions of e-commerce. Okay, so the way of doing business over the internet is known as e-commerce. Okay, you the buying and selling of the goods, you can buy goods, you can even sell goods over the internet. Okay, so e-commerce is that. Now when you buy or sell goods over the internet, obviously you got to pay for it. So the transmitting of the funds or the money or data through the electronic medium, okay, that is also part of e-commerce. And not only goods, you can even buy or sell services online, like for example insurance you can buy, or maybe your health care insurance you can buy online, any type of service you can buy online. Okay, so this is basically what e-commerce comprises of. Okay, now let us look at the types of e-commerce. So one type is B2B. B2B stands for business to business. Okay, wherein two companies may be buying or selling products and services with each other. For example, suppose if there is a manufacturer and he wants to make his product, he needs raw materials. So that raw materials he's looking for a person who's selling raw materials online, and he purchases it. So basically, even the person who's selling raw materials is also a business. So business to business. Okay. So wherein so this is business to business model. Okay, so this is one type. Second type is the business to customer, consumer, that is B2C. Okay, wherein this is the most common one, where most of the business is done through this. Like for example, when you are shopping online, this is an example of business to customer. Okay, so the company selling its goods or services directly to the customer via a website. For example, when you shop from Amazon or Flipkart. Okay, the third type is consumer to business. Okay, in which the consumer is selling a product or a service, and he puts it, lists out his budget online, and the company, and he selects the company which meets his expectations. Okay, so there is one site called Fiverr, from where you can do this. So this is an example of consumer to business. Okay, and the next is consumer to consumer, customer to customer. That means where the seller and the buyer are actually both customers, and like OLX, you want to sell an old product and there is a person who wants to buy it. So you meet online and you buy it. So example is ebay.com or OLX. So you have basically four types of e-commerce types. Okay. You have B2B, B2C, then you have C2B and C2C. Okay. So these are the four types of e-commerce. Okay. Now what is the advantage of e-commerce? So first advantage is the availability. Okay. It is available 24 by 7 and customers can visit the website and browse their products and place their orders. Okay. Second is it's convenient. It makes it easier to find and sell products and the product variants and details everything in one place and the comfort of your home. Okay, offers the choice to compare different products from different brands on the basis of quality, pricing and so on. So basically it offers a lot of options for the customer online. He can compare the products on the basis of their quality, their pricing and so on. Okay, and basically when the customer can make a informed buying decision. He can read the reviews and the comments of the people who have already purchased that product before, and how did they find the product? He is being informed about the product, what it is, and he can make a decision based on the reviews. Okay. Next best advantage is competitive pricing is there, because since there are so many sellers online, so the price which they offer is very competitive. They each one would want that their product be sold. So even when you are selecting a product in Amazon, you may say you may also four other offers are there, and you may look at the other vendors offers also for the same product. Okay, so competitive pricing is there and you can get the best deal. Okay, so and some you may also sometimes, some websites may offer you coupons, or some vendors may offer you coupon for by purchasing from them. So these are basically ways of luring the customer towards buying from them. Okay, so in the bargain you get a good deal. Okay, then cheaper operation cost for sellers. Now the next advantage is from the seller's point of view, because when he is selling online, it the cost of setting up a business online is very low. Okay, and the investment required is because he doesn't have to buy a shop, he doesn't have to invest in all the other costs which are involved in running a business. Okay, so those cost the cost of operation is cut down drastically. Okay, what are the disadvantages? On the other hand, one disadvantage is the security. Okay, so as a buyer you have to stay vigilant, because there could be online platforms which may be not very it may not be genuine. Okay, so that is one thing. Second thing is the information protection. When you are making a payment and you are typing in your credit or the debit card or the personal information, that information could be misused if you are not in a proper on a proper website, or you have not taken proper precautions. Okay, so that is another disadvantage over here. Third disadvantage is the touch barrier. That means it is difficult to make the buying decision, as we are not able to inspect the products physically. Unless and until the product actually arrives at your home, you are not sure of the quality which you have purchased. Okay, so then if you are not satisfied, in certain cases there is a return policy and you can return back the product, but in certain cases that option is not there. So you are stuck with a inferior quality product. Okay, so you should always be very careful. You should read your reviews properly of other customers who have purchased it earlier. Okay, next is that to do e-commerce you need to have internet access. So without internet access you cannot do e-commerce, or you cannot uh, any type of operation you cannot do over the internet without internet access. Next is the Okay, the next topic is online shopping. So the process of buying or selling goods or services online is called e-shopping. Buyers can purchase anything on the over the internet, right from products, from stationery, apparels, appliances, movie tickets, healthcare, insurances, electronic items, and anything, cosmetics, anything. Okay, so this is online shopping. Okay, and these are some common website names where you can buy shop online. Most common amongst them, most popular is Amazon. You have Flipkart, Myntra, Snapdeal, Home Shop, Yebi, Jebong, Alibaba. So all these are websites. Okay, now over the internet, let us just look at the most popular e-shopping website, that is Amazon. Okay, Amazon was founded on July 5, 1994. Okay, in Washington, and it was widely known for its wide collection of books. Okay, but then it expanded its products, and now you have any product under the sun being sold in Amazon. Not only that, it has also in shift, like it is available all over the world, Amazon. Okay, and it has built separate websites for different countries. Okay, so like in India, you would it would be, if you say amazon.in. Okay, so you would have products which will be more related to India, even the payment methods, the everything more, even the products and all will be relevant to Indians. So similarly, you have in different countries, you have these websites made by Amazon. Okay, so payment, it allows you to do payment through credit cards, debit cards, net banking, gift vouchers are also there. Okay, and also you have payment types like, when the delivery comes to your home, you can swipe your card. That delivery person may have a machine where you can swipe the card and make the payment, or you can even pay cash on delivery. Okay, so now these are some steps. I'm sure you know already how to shop online, but these are some shop methods of means, how to place a order online. So first of all, you will log into Amazon.in, search for the item which you want to purchase in the search box. Okay, click on shop by category option. Then you will select the desired product and check the product's key features and specifications. That means you can, read what the manufacturer is saying about the product. Okay, and once you feel that this product is right for you, you can click on buy now. Okay, now create an Amazon account if you don't already have one, and log in into your account. Fill your address where you want it delivered. Okay, and then click on continue. Then it will ask you for a payment method. You can select whichever method you want, debit card, credit card, or if cash on delivery is available, you can choose that. Always remember that when you are selecting the payment method, if I feel that the cash on delivery is the best method, that means, if the place from where you are buying is not a very well known uh, vendor, you're not making the payment beforehand. So the chances of you being cheated is less. So you can opt for cash on delivery also. So that would be best. Or if you have to choose between a debit card and a credit card, always choose a credit card, because a credit card is more secure compared to a debit card. Okay. Review your order details and click on place your order and pay. Okay, so then it will ask you for a 3-digit secure code. Okay, so which you will receive from the bank. So then you will, once you receive that, you will authorize your payment, and you will get a thank you page, and the order will be placed successfully. Okay, now the video of doing this is like at the ICL session of this chapter. I'll be showing it to you maybe in the live sessions or maybe in the future videos. Okay, now let us know more. One is, we just spoke about Amazon. Another popular website is Flipkart, and this was made by Sachin and Binny Bansal in 2007 in Bangalore. Okay, PayPal is the most popular payment method. Okay, and it was founded in December 1998. And Beam is an Android application that enables fast, secure, and reliable cashless payment through a smartphone. Okay, what are the modes of online payments? The first is net banking. Okay, so it is also known as online banking. It is a means of electronic payment that enables customer to carry out financial transactions using the bank's website or the app through the internet. So rather than using a debit or the credit card, you fill in the bank details, and through net banking you can make the payment. So directly from the account, the money will be going. Okay, so that is one thing. You can also, when you're making the payment, you can also make it using a debit card. Okay, so it is a plastic payment card that you can use instead of cash while making a purchase, and you're required to fill in the card details on the website, and the payment is deducted from the cardholder's bank account. A credit card is also a plastic card. Okay, and it, but the difference is that and here also you have to fill in the details of the card over there, just like in credit card, debit card. Only thing is, only difference is that in debit card, actually when you fill in the details, the money is going from your bank account directly. Okay, and in credit card, what is happening is that you are not going to pay the money right now. You're borrowing it from the bank. Your bank is paying it on behalf of you. Okay, and it will give you a grace period of around 25 to 30 days. So you can purchase something even if you don't have that much cash with you, but ensure that you make the payment back to the bank within 25 to 30 days. Otherwise you will have to pay heavy interest rate to the bank. Okay, so this is the difference between debit card and credit card. Debit card means you are making the payment from your own account. You have the cash and you're paying it. Instead of cash, you're using the debit card. In credit card, you are not using your own money. You're borrowing it from the bank, and the bank is paying it on your behalf. But you have to pay the bank back after the grace period. I mean, within the grace period, you have to pay it back. Okay. So next mode of online payment is a smart card. Okay, so smart card is also there, in which it resembles a credit card in size and shape. Okay, so here also you have credit and debit cards, but here the difference is, like in the smart card, there is a limit to how much you can use in that. Like in a debit or credit card, the limit would be what is there in your bank, the funds, that much you can use. Okay, like for example, suppose your dad wants to, you're staying in a hostel or something, and you need to use make payments, but you could be spending more. So your dad may be putting some amount into that smart card of yours. Some limited amount is there which you have to make it last for the entire month. So using that card, you would have that much funds which have been transferred to your account. So only that much you can use. You cannot go beyond that. Okay, so the smart cards are there. Okay, then you have electronic wallet. Again, this is like similar to the smart card. Only thing is here you don't have a card, but you have a app. Okay, so you can make online transactions through a computer or a smartphone. Okay, these wallets are linked with the bank accounts and make payments like utility bills, direct to home connection charges, etc. Okay, so this is electronic wallet. Next is payment service provider. Okay, these are companies that facilitate e-commerce. Okay, like for example, PayPal is there, Fast Charge is there, Secure Pay is there, GPay is there. So you are making the payment using these uh, merchants, e-commerce merchants. Okay, they facilitate you to make the payment. So they are known as payment service providers. Okay, so these are the different modes of payment. There is one more concept called digital marketing. Digital middleman. Now, digital middleman is basically like a person, website which is going to make the seller and the buyer meet over there. So in the website, all similar uh, products will be there, and a person can shop over there, and whatever you are shopping over there, a little commission goes to the website on that. For example, carvale.com is there, bricks magicbricks.com is there. So they basically, these companies gather information about all the companies that provide similar type of product or services, and they display it on their website. Okay. Now, so this is what a digital middleman is. Okay. Now, these are some more payment service providers. So PayPal, as I told you, was there. These are some other ones. Okay, PayZippy is there, Paytm is there, InstaMojo is there, etc. Okay. Now let us see how does the payment service provider work. Okay. So what basically happens is there is a online store is there. The customer will submit the order over there and make the payment. Okay. Now, when they make the payment, the online store will contact the payment gateway, that is the bank gateway or the site which from where the payment will be there. Okay. So that will confirm the payment, that the payment has been made. Once that is done, it goes to the payment processor, and from there it goes to the bank. Okay. Now the bank, once it has received the instruction to make the payment, it will direct the money to the merchant, and it will also uh, return a response to the payment processor there. Okay. That response is again sent to the payment gateway, and that is sent again back to the online store, and then that online store sends that uh, response to the customer that your transaction is completed. So this is how the payment service provider works. Okay. Now let us see one small video which is on basically online safety tips. Okay. So basically it's a very nice video which I came across so I have downloaded it for you. Let us see it.
As the number of e-commerce sites grows each day, more and more people prefer to shop online for convenience, choices, and ease of price comparison. Online shopping is easier than ever before with internet-connected computers, phones, or tablets. With the availability of Wi-Fi in many locations, internet access for online shopping is no longer an issue, although security has become a major concern for consumers and businesses. If you are a regular online shopper, there are a few steps that you can take to protect yourself from identity theft, prevent online fraud, and avoid paying higher prices. Here are a few steps that you can take to protect yourself when shopping online. First, make sure you are on the right website. There are many fake sites that look exactly like the authentic ones. Avoid clicking links from emails which can direct you to fake sites. Type the website's address and double-check the spelling to make sure you didn't mistype. Second, avoid visiting less-known websites, especially if the websites don't show a security lock to indicate the website is secure for shopping. Read online reviews from other people who bought items from that website, and look for feedback about the quality of service and any issues with payment, delivery, scams, and complaints. Third, consolidate your shopping lists. Know what you want to buy in advance and plan ahead. Determine what items you want to buy and place them in categories that can be purchased from one merchant. Limiting the number of websites from which you buy things will reduce the number of times that you share your credit card and personal information, thus reducing your online shopping risks. Once you have selected your items and placed them in the shopping cart, you must decide how to pay. Credit cards are the most common type of payments. Whether you enter a credit card number or use your fingerprint to authorize the payment, credit cards offer some protection that other methods of payment may not. For example, if there's a problem, the law gives consumers the right to dispute credit card charges and temporarily withhold payment while the dispute is investigated. If someone uses your credit card without your permission, your liability is limited to $50, but most credit card companies waive all charges to keep their customers happy. As a reminder, before you enter your credit card or other sensitive information online, make sure that the website address is correct and starts with HTTPS. The S stands for secure and means that your information is encrypted before it's transmitted. You can also look for the lock sign, which would also indicate the site is secure. Other online shopping considerations include shipping terms and cost, prices, return policies, taxes, other costs, and perks like coupons, discounts, and free shipping. With careful planning when selecting merchants and products for online shopping, you can be confident that you have the best deal and stay safe when shopping online. Even if you shop in the stores, you can check the prices online and make sure you're not overpaying. This educational video is presented to consumers by Identity Management Institute. Visit us online for identity theft video courses, training, and speakers.
Okay, I'm sure this video was quite informative. Now we will be doing the other part, rest of the chapter later on. Okay, so I'll just end this for today, and I want you to read this chapter. Okay,